think this is a really good game, but I definitely like the feel of the older games better with the combat and stuff. Not really combat, but fighting, whatever. Let's talk about the actual game now. If you didn't know, a lot of wrestlers got released, so this roster is kind of smaller than the other game, but they also left quite a few released wrestlers in there. Some that I really don't understand why. You leave Arari Davari in there, who did like nothing in his career. He was solely a jobber. The only thing he really did was, I think he fought for the Cruiserweight Championship once and lost, obviously. And he was on a tag team with Tony Nese where he won a few matches here and there. And that's sadly when they had started making Tony Nese a jobber again. Because he was a jobber during his original run. And then they slowly realized his potential, and he won the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. So he got a 9-point increase in 2K20. And now he's not even in this game, which I think is because he joined AEW. I think it was a little bit before the game was too far into development, because there is a lot of AEW guys in this game that were before it was released. Like, there's Kyle O'Reilly, Keith Lee, and then there's people from after it was released, like John Morrison and Isaiah Swerve Scott, Cesaro, Ember Moon. Now, actual game again, my GM mode was really fun, but definitely limited. You couldn't do tag team title matches, as far as I know. Maybe there's like some complicated way to do it, but you couldn't fight for the tag titles in my GM mode. There was only tag matches and one-on-one matches, but you could change the stuff. You could make it like Extreme Rules, tables, stuff like that. Made it way too hard to get a 5-star rating, which wouldn't be a problem if the trophy was higher, but if you get a 5-star match, you get a bronze trophy, which I think is pretty BS, because they make it pretty hard. I've played my GM mode maybe 3 times fully, and I've never gotten a 5-star match. Highest I got was 4.5, so pretty close, but not close enough for the trophy. I've never beaten it though, so I haven't got the silver trophy for, beating it. But yeah, it is decently fun. It is worth a look through if you do buy this game. My Rise, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I didn't care for it. I think my career mode was definitely their better choice. At least all of the wrestlers in this are voiced by the real people, which I couldn't say the same for 2K20 and 2K19. Some of them were voiced by the real people in 20, most of them weren't in 19. I think maybe one was. In 20, it was maybe 3 people that voiced it, like Natalia and X-Pac and stuff like that. But most of the people weren't voiced by the real people. In this, you can tell they're voiced by the real people, which I think, if you're going to have a wrestling game and have current stars that are still in the company wrestling, why aren't they going to voice the people? Because even though John Cena wasn't, super active around the time 2K19 came out, he still was, I think, active enough to voice his character. And Randy Orton sure as hell was. But he was not voicing his character in 19, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure Braun Strowman didn't voice his character either. Speaking of Braun, they had him heavily in My Rise, but I want to talk about the actual things I don't like about My Rise now. The actual story is pretty trash. You'll start a storyline and it really won't go anywhere. I fought Tommaso Ciampa for the United States Championship. Beat him, he got mad about it. Fairy tale ending on the steel steps, I got injured for a month. Nothing ever again. You do fight him again in a ladder match to reclaim the title, but there really is no story. There's just some social media buzz, which is something that they added into the game, where the wrestlers will interact on social media and throw insults or throw compliments. And then that's how you sometimes get your title matches. Like, oh, hey, I want to fight you. And you say that on, like, Twitter. And then you get a title match. It's crazy. But yeah, you get a fairy tale ending on the steel steps, and then nothing really happens again for cutscenes or story or anything. And then when you do the Dakota Kai storyline, where you and her team up against Gargano and Candice LeRae, there's a few cutscenes here and there, but nothing really matters. It's just like Gargano getting mad that you insulted him and attacking you. That's like 2 out of the 3 cutscenes. And then eventually Dakota Kai betrays you, which doesn't even really feel like anything. Because we barely did anything. We teamed up for one match and we kind of interacted on social media, and then that's it. You have one match. Well, you talk to Dakota Kai, and she's like, hey, I heard rumors you're dating Candice and you can choose what you want to do. I chose the heel option to pretend I was dating Candice. And you get a few things happen here and there, but really nothing major. They really don't pan out the storylines enough for them to be interesting. The Roman Reigns one was the most interesting one, which I guarantee they really only put a lot of effort into it because Roman, and it's a silver trophy. So, speaking of trophies, I do think it was odd that Zack Ryder is not in this game yet. There is a trophy that's clearly directed towards him. There is a trophy in the game that is called like the Internet Champion or something like that, I think. And it's a silver trophy when you get like 300,000 fans, which I have like 500,000, I think. I do think it was dumb that they made it so you couldn't get trophies for all the titles. You only get trophies for the world titles, even though you do have to get the mid-card titles to kind of fully complete the story. It's not fully complete, but it really seems like it. Once you get both the mid-card titles, both the world titles, they're like, hey, you can go wherever you want now. NXT, SmackDown, anything. So you'd think that'd be important enough for at least a bronze trophy. And then again, all the world titles are only bronze trophies except for the Universal title. Even the women ones. Which, speaking of the women ones, here's something I have to criticize the game about. Ever since an update happened, you can't make your own customs. You can still download them, as far as I know. I don't have PlayStation Plus or anything like that, so I don't know how to do community creations or anything like that anyway. But yeah, you can't make your own customs. They glitch and it's on a loading screen forever. And you can't even edit the customs you already have made, because it'll do the same loading screen glitch. So, unfortunately, for the people that wanted me to talk about women's My Rise, I can't, because you only get like 3 minutes of women's My Rise, and then it wants you to make your person. And once you finish making your person, it's on the loading screen glitch. So, yeah, I never even got to experience women's My Rise. So hopefully they fix that in the future, which doesn't look like it since their newest update didn't do shit from what I saw. And they wouldn't even acknowledge the bugs about the customs. And another thing, but I think this one's just for me and not other people, is that for some reason in this game I can't make custom titles. I go to make a custom title, it lets me make it, press save, and it's not there. It's a very weird bug. But it might be for other people too. I just haven't seen anyone else talk about it. But I have seen other people talk about the custom glitch. A lot of people are dealing with that. I do think Um, Here's another thing I do want to criticize is, once again, the fighting, but not specifically the fighting. Since they've made it so people have like a lot of more moves, a lot of people have moves they don't do and have basic move sets. Like half the characters in the game have Dean Ambrose's thing, and he's not even in the game anymore. If you didn't know, Dean Ambrose used to do this thing when he was in WWE, where he would kick you in the stomach, and then he would kind of like move his hand, tell you to come here, and then kick you in the face. And he hasn't been in the game since 2K19. And that's actually 3 games ago since Battlegrounds came out. So they gave it to a lot of people. And also a lot of people have the taste of pain. A lot of people have moves they don't do. Like Xavier Woods has the one night stand, which is Kurt Hawkins' signature. Rey Mysterio has Kurt Hawkins' finisher, the taste of pain in his fighting. Ciampa also has the taste of pain. Tucker has Noam Dar's move. He has the Scottish sickle as part of his fighting. And a lot of people just have moves that they've never done in their life. A lot of people have signatures or finishers that don't even match their character. Like Kushida has No Way Jose's signature. So honestly, a lot of people in this game, I had to go and change and give them moves that fit them more. Or moves that were literally in the game that they didn't give them for some reason. Even though if you do just a little quick search on Google and look up Pro Wrestling Wiki, and then look up the specific wrestler you want, you can find their finishers and signatures. Yeah, I guess WWE isn't good enough to do that, since half the people in this game don't have their actual moveset. Like Io Shirai has a fairy tale ending. I haven't watched NXT in a while. I think at least a year. But I don't think she's ever done the fairy tale ending. That's more of Ciampa's move and Mandy Rose's move. I can't play My Faction because that's more of a PlayStation Plus thing, more online. So I can't really talk about that. Fortunately, there's another year without new matches. The Royal Rumble was decently fun in this game, but they took out the thing to be able to fight for the world title or any title when you do a Royal Rumble, because you could do that in previous games. You can just set the Royal Rumble as a universal title. It won't change anything. You won't see yourself winning the Universal title or the United States title or the Women's NXT Championship or anything like that. You just have the title now. But you can't do that at all in this game. They did make it so you could customize backstage brawls, but then it doesn't work. In the old games, if you tried to customize a backstage brawl, the only thing you could do was make it so you could pin and instead of KO. But in this one, you can change it to first blood, and you can change it to finisher only. Neither of them work. Because I won a first blood match by hitting my signature. And it was not a bleeding move, and the opponent did not bleed. It seemed like it made the match easier, because I didn't even hit a single finisher in that match. I just hit my signature, and I play on normal mode. I honestly should play higher mode, since the game isn't exactly hard. It's not something like The Last of Us, which, speaking of that, I am actually going to replay that on Grounded soon. But I won't be doing a re-review on the game, just something I want to do. I think it would be fun. But yeah, that's a bit off topic. Honestly, though, this is a pretty good game. There just is a lot of flaws. They removed the thing for you to be able to spear someone through the barricade. Or, to do the running body press, I think is what you call it. when they just pick up their opponent, it was mostly for bigger opponents. Like, it would be something for Bigelow that I'm pretty sure he didn't have one. Where they would just pick up their opponent and run them into it. So that's not in there either. Now you have to do like certain moves to like throw them through it and stuff. I mean, it does give a cool animation, which props for that, but why can't we at least leave in the thing to spear him through the barricade? How's that hurt anything? They did make it so if you take the thing off the announce table, it's way quicker, which I do appreciate that, but then the chairs by the announce table, you are no longer allowed to pick up. They also removed trash cans and fire extinguishers, which is crazy since both of those things were used a lot around the time this game was in developmental. Just in 2020 of NXT, trash cans were very essential. They were used a lot. And I think I don't think it was exactly a year ago. It probably was 6 months ago. I'm probably exaggerating. But there was that thing with Montez Ford using a fire extinguisher to distract Omos. But neither of those weapons are in the game. We do have some new weapons though. A stop sign, which you earn from playing showcase mode, because it was used during a fight with Kane in Rey Mysterio's showcase mode. And you get a shovel and a hockey stick, which I guess it's cool that we got new weapons, but at the expense of old weapons. It sucks. A lot of oh my gosh moments have been removed. They're not completely removed, but they're just not oh my gosh moments anymore. Kevin Owens' powerbomb on the apron is no longer an oh my gosh moment. It is a regular move that he can do with a bunch of different buttons. And Sami Zayn's oh my gosh moment is no longer an oh my gosh moment. It is now his signature. So you gotta throw him in the corner when you have a signature. Speaking of that, actually, here's some positive stuff I have about it. They fixed this stuff. In the old games, if you had a signature and you didn't use it in time, or you did a big move like a suplex off the top rope, you would lose your signature. Gone forever. You don't have your signature anymore. You have to use your finisher. And in this game, signatures are used for many things. They're used for low blows. They're used for other paybacks. Like it's mostly used for paybacks. You can comebacks are now a payback. They're not just a thing that you can do several times in a match. Every time you get lower on health and you just randomly get a comeback. It is now a thing when you have like 2 or 3 bars that you can use. You can also do your finisher steal, so you can hit Kevin Owens' stunner on someone when you're fighting. No, you can hit Kevin Owens' stunner on Kevin Owens when you're playing as Isaiah Swerve or something. I personally had a match with King Booker against Stone Cold where I did a finisher steal and I hit him with a stunner, which is pretty cool that they made it way easier to do, and just at the expense of a signature, which doesn't, make you lose your finisher, since now the finisher is a completely separate bar, which I do think is something that should have been there forever. It's very useful, it's pretty cool, so that is something positive. And the blood looks really good in this game, though. I've been playing the other 2K games for like years, switching through 17, 18, 15, back and forth, and 19 too, and 20. And I've just gotten used to the old blood. Though I do think this blood is better looking, I just definitely prefer the older blood where you can just get their face absolutely covered in blood. And their chest can get blood, and your hands can get bloody if you punch someone enough when they're bleeding on their face. I've just always liked that. But now, the only thing you can do is get their face kind of bloody. though it does look realistic. Though it sucks now because, commentary refers to it as a crimson mask because blood was a word that was banned in WWE. But now that Triple H is back, it's not a banned word now that he owns the company and Vince retired. Joe, it sucks now playing this game and that being a word that's constantly used that's now outdated. But overall, it's a pretty fun game. I just definitely prefer the feel of the older games because I'm just used to them. But it is a very fun game. And I do think they gave people a lot of the wrong moves. I was confused about Dexter Lumis having the attitude adjustment, but then I thought about it for a little bit, and I do remember him using it. But there are people that do moves that I just don't remember them doing at all. And I guess that's about it.